This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and this is my early morning surprise chat. I don't know how many people are up. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how many people are surfing the YouTube web this morning, because I know there's a lot of late night scrollers, and I needless to be one of them at times. So I catch some channels I wish I never caught, but they got a lot of different channels out there. And I did want to talk about something for a second. I think the Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis fight hasn't really been talked about enough. I remember when Boots versus Karen part 2 was talked about and was in discussion. I remember a lot of people talking about Boots because he gave Boots some pretty good work, right? I mean, he gave him some pretty good work. And a lot of people saying like, hey, maybe he should move up. Maybe he's overrated. And that became the narrative, right? Well, he's at 147. He unified the belt. His belt plus another belt. He stopped Stanionis, made the trainer, Mr. Marvin himself, a tutelage of Freddie Roach, call off the fight. And nobody's really talking about him. I just find that strange. Boots Ennis did his thing. Boots Ennis did what he's supposed to do. I know a lot of people would really be talking about it if it would have been a Tank Davis performance like his last performance was, But at the end of the day, it wasn't. He showed he had a beard. He showed he had style. He showed he had variety. He showed he had a lot of things, man. Boots Ennis showed that he's a big guy, tall, strong, durable, talented, and yet nobody talks about it. I wonder why that is. That's real strange to me. But nonetheless, I guess for some fighters, people look for or hope for the worst and look at the best last. Because Boots Ennis did one hell of a job, man. He did. He did a hell of a job in there. He took a lot of shots. He could tighten up on his defense, but if it wasn't for him getting hit, we would have never knew how strong or powerful or durable his chin is. Okay, and he showed that durability. He really did. So I don't know what's going on with people. I think he should go to fight Victor Ortiz. I think he should fight Fundora. I think the time is now. But I am here to congratulate Jared Boots Ennis. He did a good job, man. Give this man his flowers while he's kicking ass. And based on how he did Stanionis only had 15 fights, to be real. Let's be real. He only had 15 fights, but he was an undefeated fighter and he liked going toe-to-toe. And he went toe-to-toe with a guy that was better than him. Sorry about that light, dude. I know that light sucks. I hate lights like that. It just shines in the damn screen. Right? Prez, bro, what's up? So I get one comment and it's bro. Okay. I don't know what that really means, honestly. Okay, here we go. Be honest, have you ever eaten a woman's farts? Okay, yeah. Why do we have yeah, come on, dude. A night run. Jesus. Yeah, it is. Jesus. Yeah, man. Just more like a night walk. I went to sleep a bit too early because I've been kind of sleeping off and on the day, honestly, because I haven't really been feeling good. And I feel I'm just getting my energy back. You know what I mean? So When I get my energy back, I'm working on it, you know. Bud Crawford is the fight we need in 2025. Well, I would say this. If Jared Boots Ennis wants that fight with Terrence Crawford, it has to be at 154. You know what I mean? If Terrence won't fight, if the fight between Terrence and Canelo's not happening, he needs to fight someone else. We've seen what Victor Ortiz did to Madrimov. We've seen what Madrimov's performance was with Bud Crawford. Okay, now we need a new player in the game. We need Jared Boots Ennis to bring his big ass up to 154 and stop playing at 147, because all those other champions at 147, what they're going to do is they're reviewing the last performance of Jared Ennis, and they put themselves in the shoes of Stanionis, and they thought about it, and they thought again, and they thought about the money, then they thought about the fight, and they said, hell no. That's what's going on at 147 right now. There's nobody going to fight Boots Ennis like Stanionis did. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Leave it alone. Stop wasting your time, Ennis. He's not going to get another fight, especially another unification at 147. He's not going to get that. What happens if Canelo gets upset? If Canelo gets upset, then that fight's over. That fight's over. If Skull beats Canelo, Canelo then will fight Skull again. And then if he does even worse, that because he has to fight him again, because it's for all the belts. Understand, if Canelo gets beat, everything leaves Canelo. Canelo has absolutely, positively every belt to lose. The WBC, the WBA, the WBO, okay? And he's fighting for the IBF. Early Bird catches the worm, Grand Risings, Red Eye Jedi, 420 UK in the building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. You guys hit that like button when you guys come in, please. But no, Jared Ennis, he definitely needs to move up. I think Jared Ennis has the power, or does he? Or will he be like David Benavidez, you know, just good enough to be there? You see what I mean? He's good enough to hurt you, but he's not the knockout artist he was in the weight class where he came from. You know what I mean? So you will learn a lot about Jared Ennis if he does move from 147 to 154. Am I wrong for thinking Boots ain't that good? Well, the real mulatto, I don't know how good you expect him to be. You know, I mean, he can only beat the people that he fights. Stanionis was a live game opponent. So was Karen, but remember, Karen had the experience with Boots Ennis before. He already had the experience with Boots Ennis. So, you know, I don't know what, I don't know. Maybe you just don't like him. You know, a lot of fighters I just typically don't like either. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a thing with skill. I just think maybe you just don't like that fighter. Like, I did not like Lennox Lewis. I did not like him. I knew he was a good fighter. But maybe my dislike for him kind of shaded over my ability to see how good he really was. And I think that's what bias does to you. Because anytime you don't like a fighter, you're going to always find fault in that fighter. You're never going to look at that fighter honestly. You're going to look at that fighter like, you know what? He ain't that good. That fighter ain't no good. Bump that fighter. You see that? Look, he ain't no good. But then everything he does, oh, that ain't nothing. No, that ain't all that. You know, people do that, man, including you, including me. So, I mean, if you're not, hey, if you're not so good, I'm not so bad, right? Ortiz will beat Boots. Ortiz, I think, could outbox Boots. Stopping Boots is a whole different issue. But I think he can be beaten, especially looking at the Karen fight. If the Karen fight showed me that, yeah, sure, this dude can be beat. This dude can be beat. This dude can be outboxed. This dude can get hit. You know, he can take those punches. But for a minute, Karen was laying those shots on him and made you think about, whoa, wait a minute. How many of these punches can Boots really take? And then you start questioning how much chin capacity, how much bone density in that jaw does Boots really have? You see what I mean? I believe that's called biased opinion. Yeah, exactly. Bias. D. Frank, Canelo will knock out Crawford. Can Jermell reclaim the 154 division? Well, I think, I don't know. I don't know if he wants to, honestly. I seen a little promo on Jermell yesterday. Because, you know, regardless of the videos that I make, I can only make so many videos. For one, I'm not feeling too good. For two, I feel like I'm mentally burnt out. And that may coincide with not feeling too well. For three, I can't make videos of everyone because YouTube changed their structure of how they promote videos. That's just facts. Because you guys remember, I used to do 8 or 9 videos, sometimes 10 or 11 or 12 a day. Because for one, I love doing them. I love reporting the news. I think you guys enjoy my opinion on the news. So I do the news. I create video content the best of my ability. And I made a lot of them. So I was able to cover each and every weight class to damn near each and every fighter about what's going on with that fighter at that particular given moment. Well, I stopped doing that because YouTube won't promote but only so many things. So I had to start to do the ones that I feel are the best or the most known. So, you know, I wish there was another way, but there's not. I mean, unless YouTube fires whoever they got to change their algorithms or to change shit, some smart asshole that they hired at YouTube or Google, because they do that from time to time. Some guy comes in with this great idea and it may seem good at this time, and then that same idea may be the same reason he gets fired later on. So let's hope that's what it is. So let's bring YouTube and make YouTube great again, I feel. And then I will do all the videos I used to, you know. His parents probably sent him to Dagestan and forgot for 2 or 3 years. He does have the Dagestan facial hair. Are you from Dagestan? I don't even know where that's at, dude. What's this chat about? Kenna, this chat is really about welterweights and super welterweights today. 6 months, 1 live. Dude, I just did a live Saturday. I don't know what you're talking about. 6 months, 1 live. And that's the whole thing, Silver Eagle. Silver Eagle. Keep in mind that if you didn't see me live, just explains my point. It just explains my point. You're not getting the notifications that you normally get when I'm live. You know, so it is what it is. It was a meme, bro. Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh. Salam alaikum, my brother. Alaikum salam. Islam. Machiv one. Okay. All right. Do you think... Wait, here we go. Can Ortiz give Boots a good fight? Boots versus Madrimov or Virgil Ortiz. Madrimov and Boots would be kind of interesting because Madrimov does have that tricky style. And I think he'll give Boots some issues, especially being a bigger guy, which Boots, I don't think, is accustomed to fighting bigger guys. You know what I mean? So I just don't want him to be looked at as the new Errol Spence, because Errol Spence was known as a weight bully. Errol Spence is known as a guy that stayed at 147 too long. See, the problem with Errol Spence Jr., when he was at 147, when he was undefeated, when he was like the unified welterweight champion, he started calling out guys like Canelo. Because remember, the Errol Spence and Canelo fight was supposed to be. But it never was because Crawford came in and upset the apple cart, right? But it was supposed to be Errol Spence versus Canelo Alvarez, possibly in Texas at Jimmy's World there in Arlington, right? Bro, you don't watch UFC? Nope. Do you think Inouye's first fight in the U.S. will bring a lot of people? You know what, man? I don't really know. I don't know if he'll bring a lot of people or not. I don't really know if that'll be the case. Because I don't know. I mean, I got to give it up to my brother Showbiz. Showbiz promotes those fights early in the morning. You know, I like the Australian cards. That's why I got about 10,000 followers from New Zealand, you know, and Australia. So about 15,000 people that follow me over there. So you guys that are following me from Australia and New Zealand, thank you, bros. Thank you. Half a day. Right? Ever. Peace. What fight are you looking forward to in the Fatal Fury? Fatal Fury. Man, Barbosa versus Teofimo Lopez. I think that's probably going to be the best fight on the card. Because we have Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia. And I got to give it up to Ryan Garcia. He did do a very good Rolly impression today. I was going to do a video. I just didn't feel like doing it. You know what I mean? I just did not feel like doing it. But I laughed my ass off. It's on Ring Magazine if you guys want to check it out. Devin Haney, I want to see. I'm interested to see what Devin Haney's going to do. But I'm not just hyped for Devin right now. Devin has to do something impactful. He has to do something worth a damn. Devin Haney at this point, Devin Haney needs to come back and he has to show everyone that he is that dude. He is a guy worth really looking at, worth not booing when he comes out, which was very bad. I felt bad for Devin Haney when they did boo him. But you have to remember something. You play with fire, you get burned. So when you do things like he's done in the last year, you know, he got his ass beat. He filed for harassment or battery or something like that. He sucker punched a dude at a fair. You know, things like that, you know, like people start looking at him differently. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Devin Haney, I admire his dad. I'm real cool with Bill. I appreciate what Bill did to his son. I still appreciate what he's trying to do with him. You know, I'm glad he has some good trainers. He's with Freddie Roach now. So, again, it's interesting, but I don't have my hopes up for it. But no, Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa, bro. That's the fight I want to see. That is the fight that I want to see. I want to see that fight because there's already a lot of beef between him and Barbosa. And those guys are really, that's like Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn right there. That's what that kind of beef is. That, you know, that's real. That ain't nothing that somebody once upon a time didn't know. No, that's built up whateverness, right? Teo versus the winner of Ryan and Haney too. Yeah, I think the Fatal Fury, I think that should be a tournament style. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that Ryan is fighting. You know, I would rather him fight someone else, to be fair. I would honestly rather that be Ben. You know, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn. But, you know, of course, you know, they had to have that Chris Eubank, Conor Benn run in. And if it's anything close, you're going to have another fight. It's going to be exactly how it was when I wasn't even watching British fighting like that. Because I didn't even really know. I heard of Chris Eubank Jr. and Nigel Benn, but I didn't follow them then, you know. I'm an American boy, so I didn't really follow those guys at the time. You know, I learned of Frank Bruno because Mike Tyson was fighting him. You know what I mean? And Lennox Lewis fought him. But, I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a guy that I was just, hey, I knew about. T.O. better show up. He better, because Barbosa will. I think he can outbox Barbosa because Barbosa is going to come to fight. And T.O. knows, like, listen, let me fight him smart and in spots fight this dude. Like maybe the last 10 seconds of the round, T.O. can get in there and show him a little thing or two about a thing or two on how you throw down. Start a little controversy, talk a little shit, you know, like I know he's going to do anyway. You know, and I think Barbosa, you know, is going to try to make it a dogfight. So you already know that. Look for that with Barbosa. But you know, the animosity, that's real right there. The animosity is real. No doubt about it. Avatar, good morning, Kurt. Bless up. Appreciate you, brother. T.O. versus the winner of Ryan and Haney, too. Well, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do, because I don't know about Ramirez. Ramirez was a hell of a fighter. I don't know. See, Devin's a younger dude, fresh. And if Ramirez allows him space, he will get outboxed. He will get outboxed. He will get outboxed, period. You know, Ramirez, you know, he's probably, you know, he's a Mexican warrior. He likes to fight on the inside. He likes to get in there. He likes to exchange blows. But will Devin want him? Or will he allow him to do that? More than likely not. More than likely not. Cyrus, counterpunch to you. Tarsus from Australia. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, I got a, you know, I have a following coming from over there. Maybe it's the, you know, maybe it's all the David Tua videos that I follow. Definitely, you know. Oh, man. Yeah, but shout out to my New Zealand peeps over there, man. Shout out to Australia in the building, you know. Been covering Australia for a long time, and I just wish, you know, my channel's been here 10 years. You guys have got it here, and I thank you for the millions of views. Millions on millions of views. Thank you, guys. And I just wish it was earlier. You know? Yannick. Appreciate you. Caballero versus Hrgovic. Oof. Caballero versus Hrgovic. Caballero will chop Hrgovic down. The only problem with that is Hrgovic has height. He does have a bit of speed. Not as much. Because Joe Joyce did say something that made a lot of sense. Conrad Francis, member in the building. Joe Joyce said something that made a lot of sense, and everybody thinks Joe Joyce is kind of I just think Joe Joyce is Joe Joyce, but Joe Joyce made a good point, and I'm going to give his props right now. He said, well, hey, you're not that much faster than me, so it ain't the speed, okay? It ain't the speed he possesses. He was just faster than Zhilei Zhang when he fought Zhilei Zhang on that night. And I think Zhilei Zhang has improved his counterpunching time. And I think someone like Caballero will break Hrgovic down. And I would love to see that fight, because this would be the first time that Hrgovic actually gets stopped. Because I believe that Caballero has the ability to outwork Hrgovic. Because Hrgovic's going to get tired. He's not going to be able to take those shots to the body. You know, that solar plex jab. That right hand, that chopping left hook, the left uppercut to the body, the right uppercut to the body, the 1-2 upstairs, the jab and the right hook upstairs. All of these punches that are coming from Caballero, he's throwing and he's making a rhythm out of them. He reminds me, and a lot of people don't really catch this link. I get Caballero reminds me a lot of Joe Frazier. The only difference is he's bigger, he's taller. He's taller than Frazier. You know, so he's 6'2". You know, he's 6'2" tall. He's a sturdy lad. You know what I'm saying? He has a good foundation. He you know what I mean? He has solid calves. You know, he has a strong, solid foundation. You can tell, you know, the way he punches. He has a good chin. He's durable. He can take a shot. We've seen that with Zhang. See, not everybody took those damn shots from Zhang. That's what people don't understand. Not Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker went down twice. Deontay Wilder, all it took was once. He was out. So yeah, Zhang can bang. Okay, so saying all that to say this, I don't see Hrgovic with the punching power to keep Get off of him. He'll destroy him, dude. He will destroy him. Definitely. Chet Perry, hi Kurt. Is it scary where you are walking? No, not really. I mean, I mean, it can be, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not afraid of people like that. Maybe I'm kind of intimidating, but the thing is, I'm not asking for trouble. I'm in a well-lit place. Don't steal anything. Nah, I'm in a well-lit place. I have family all around me, for one. For two, I have 7 friends, and they're all 22 years old. So, you know what I mean? That's, I mean, somebody can try something. I mean, you'd have to take me by surprise. And if you do, it would either be hand to hand or some type of distance to offer altercation. And either one wouldn't really be good for anybody, because I don't want anybody jumping out on me trying to box, because I'm going to have to knock your fucking head off. Or I don't want somebody pulling out a knife or something like that, because I have a knife and a gun. So which one you want to go with? That's pretty much that. I mean, I mean, this is Louisiana. This is not New York. This is not UK. Okay? All right? This is Louisiana. This is not what you think it is. Stay on the path. Yeah. Okay. Nah, I mean, it's kind of stupid to ever go off path. Because what are you looking for? For one, I have no light. I can't see you guys. Most importantly, you can't see me. And then for two, what am I looking for in the dark? But sleep or trouble. Someone's saying, hey, come here. I'm going to tell him, no, you come here. Come to the light where I can see you, so I can put eyes on you. CP to you, Kurt. What's the good word? Man, the good word is boxing is alive and well, bro. My cousin lives next door to Shaquille O'Neal. Hey, that's cool. A lot of people do. Has your missus kicked you out? Nah, I don't get kicked out, man. I leave. That's the difference between I don't get kicked out. I've been kicked out a few times, don't get me wrong. But in these later years, yeah, I just leave. I have 2 of those. Kenna, I heard that. Yeah, man. Second Amendment is that Constitution that I believe in. Right to bear arms. That's the only thing that stops me from besides the price and inflation and shit like that, cost of living, but I wouldn't want to go anywhere that I couldn't have a gun in it, and someone, I don't want to, because see, you go to a place where everyone has guns, everyone really respects each other. You know what I mean? You look like the rock band from the Never Ending Story. Damn. That means that's a rock from a long time ago, and I'll take it. Because he looks nothing like he used to look. And I'm not talking about the brother. He just changed, Stay off the shit. And everyone knows what shit I'm talking about. Whittaker rematch. That's one fight I wish I covered more. Whittaker, whatever reason, I'm getting heartburn now. Cameron and Whittaker, there we go. Let's talk about that for a minute. Cameron and Whittaker, part 2. It was a slime ball move by it was a slime ball move that they done. I'm gonna tell you what they did. They agreed to fight Cameron for 12 rounds. Then when they got the final draft back from the signed contract from Cameron's team with Cameron's signature attached to it, they realized that they made a mistake, in the favor of Cameron. What they did was it was supposed to be for 10 rounds. So what they did, they resent a contract back over to Cameron's team. It was like, hey, we got a re-advised contract because we only wanted 10 rounds, not 12. So Cameron's team, they tried to fight it at first, but they eventually gave in to the bigger side. I believe Whittaker's with Boxer, no? So they won that little war just so Ben Whittaker could save face. And really, I think it's chicken shit on Whittaker's end because he's just showing how limited he is or how less challenging he wants to challenge himself as a fighter. Because if you've had, 11, 12 fights right now, is it 11 fights? And you don't want to go 12 rounds right now, it's showing that you're not even ready for that next level. So that means you're comfortable where you're at. That means you're not ready for a championship fight. You're not ready to be champion. Because any championship fight is 12 rounds. Everybody knows that, right? Everyone knows that. Even women boxing. Even though it's 2 rounds or 2 minutes, it's still 12. It's still 12. So people should understand that. So saying all that to say this about Whittaker, I think them fighting for that 2 rounds less was chicken shit, and I hope he gets knocked the fuck out. I'm just gonna be real with you, because Whittaker, I mean, you clown around, you got a lot of people's attention, you pull that bullshit with the ring. I don't know. I think everything stunk. I think the ref was too small. Get that little midget ref out of there. You ain't big enough to handle the guys that you're supposed to be refereeing. If you have to be a certain size regulation for the fighters you're refereeing. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? Okay, let me give you an example. You guys remember when Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis in Memphis, Tennessee in 2002? If you guys remember that. Okay, he fought that. Who did they have? Eddie Cotton. Eddie Cotton was 6'4", 235 pounds. That's the dude that they needed. Not some dude that's 5'2", that can't even, he couldn't even pull one guy back. He damn near went over the ropes with him. But that takes nothing away. That still doesn't mean it's his fault. When I'm saying he couldn't help, he couldn't do anything to intervene. Money on Whittaker, maybe a nugget, Kurt. Whittaker is a silver medalist. That's fine. He wanted 10 rounds, though. I mean, I'm not impressed with him. I'm just not impressed with him. And then the bullshit he pulled at the airport. When that happened, I knew this dude's full of shit. He didn't want people to take pictures of him. Then he gets up, attempts to walk. The whole point was they put him in the fucking wheelchair. They put him in the wheelchair so he could prove to people that he couldn't walk. Well, people were taking pictures of him and he smashed that dude's camera. I would have slapped the shit out of him. I would have made you walk to fight me because I know you're full of shit. I know you're lying. I know you're lying. And Whittaker was lying. He was bullshitting. He was starting to get his ass whooped. And I hope Cameron's ready, because if he's not ready, you got a problem. Because I'm going to tell you this. One thing I know about his trainer, Andy Lee. Andy Lee's the real one. And so I give credit to Whittaker, Ben Whittaker, for going with Andy Lee. Because Andy Lee's going to get him there. He's going to get him there. That's the same person that trains Parker. That's Tyson Fury's cousin. Andy Lee's the guy right now. I would vote for Andy Lee to be trainer of the year right now. Absolutely. Let the man get his chips. Okay. That's fine. When Cameron knocks him out, I'm going to lose my voice and tell you I told you so. But I think Whittaker may be where he needs to be, which is a good thing. But that night, oh yeah. But it's okay. It's okay, because I think Daniel Dubois would have got his ass whooped if he'd have jumped in there with Parker too. So it is what it is. Whittaker and Triple D need to show their sickness. There you go. I agree. It's a give and take. Still wise. It is there. It is what it is. But they're running it back. That's the good thing. It's 10 rounds. I think it should have been 12. they signed 12, and it just shows you, it just shows you Ben Shalom's, amateur way and, unprofessionalism. And no disrespect to Ben Shalom. It's just Ben Shalom, I think he gets too eager to try to get things done, and he carelessly overlooked the 12-round bid. Then he reneged, but they won. So, I mean, that's business. So they won the business war. Whittaker's afraid of that deep end from what it seems. Yeah, he is. That's why he didn't want to go, because that 11 and 12 would have sunk him. That 11 and 12th round would have sunk him, because Cameroon would have probably put something together on him. I feel the same thing about Johnny Fisher. Johnny Fisher's another dud. You know what I mean? Dave Allen whooped his ass, and they gave it to Johnny Fisher because Johnny Fisher was that Matchroom promoted fighter that they were trying to promote. So it is what it is. Whittaker is 27 and will twitch, and the Twitch fighter, if he do 12 rounds in his prime, then he's cooked. Greetings to all in the chat, and to you, Kurt. Shug1, what's up, brother? Great seeing you in another live with you, sir. Oh man, thank you. Can Ryan and Whittaker be the same, Kurt? I give Dev beating Ryan in a fight too. In a perfect world, Devin beats Ryan, but Ryan, because here's the thing: if he beats Ryan by decision, it makes him look that much worse as a cheat, because people are going to look at the first fight and what he did in the first fight versus the second fight and what he's doing in the second fight. If Devin Haney's able to beat the hell out of, beat up Ryan, and Ryan's not ever able to do what he did in the first fight, people are going to easily look at him as a cheat, a drug cheat, and he's going to lose credibility. So Ryan has to knock out Devin Haney to show that he easily did it anyway, without anything. He didn't need the drugs. It just so happened drugs in the system. It happens that way sometimes. And Devin Haney needs this because of they've already gave him the win, right, due to the injustice of all the other stuff. So he has to show that he can actually fight, because they just gave him a win that everybody know he didn't win. They should have called it a no contest, but they didn't do that. They gave it to Devin Haney. Devin Haney should have been stopped a lot in that fight, and they didn't. But we waited to the result of what happened, the stipulations, the drug tests, the lies that Ryan said. Oh, it was ashwagandha. You blamed ashwagandha for popping dirty, you dumbass. God. And then what he did was, look, you can't make this up. What he did, he put he had the I forget what their name. I forget the name of the people that he blamed it on. But he blamed it on them, and they were going to come after him, because they're like, yo, you can't say that we got shit in our products, because now that's defamation of character, right? So you can't talk bad about our product. We'll sue you. We'll sue you for every damn dime you got. You won't be rich no more messing with us, right? So it's crazy. By my count, Haney was dropped 6 times. That fight should have been stopped after the 3rd knockdown. We don't know what damage was done taking so much punishment over 12 rounds. You're right. I mean, he got beat beyond belief. Devin Haney, I think he'll be bigger. I don't want that to happen to Haney. I don't know, because I'm looking at Haney. I hear the way he talks now. It's almost like he tries too hard to be proper. You know what I mean? He ain't his daddy. Okay? He's not his dad. But I don't want to see Devin. I've met Devin. Okay? I never met Ryan. I've met Devin. I've met Connor Ben. I've met Ben Davis. And I've met a lot of people. Anyway, I met Devin. Devin Haney, when I met him, he was a kid, bro. He was a kid. And young guy, ready. He looks like a cousin of mine, honestly. That's what I thought of. I thought of Courtney. Shout out to Courtney Stroud, is my cousin. He looked a lot like him. And he was like, I'm like, man, you ready, champ? He's like, yes, sir, I'm ready. You know what I mean? Outside of the Margaritaville in Bossier City. And, you know, and I like the kid, you know, and he showed signs of pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. He wasn't as good as Floyd, though, no. But he showed signs of Floyd. You know, the jab, the step-in jab to the body, you know, some of the footwork. He wasn't as fast, you know what I mean? But he could become aggressive at times. I would like him to become more aggressive like Pretty Boy was. If he was anything like Pretty Boy, he would be a bad mama slammer, right? No excuses now, both making weight. Yeah. And also look at the face. Since their face, I think he did have at least a hairline fracture that had to heal over time. You'd be number one on the auction block. Cunt. Let's see. Tim Shurin, counterpunch to you. Say Isaac, hope you're feeling better. Man, I'm feeling better. I'm about 72%. You know, I'm about 72%, man. I mean, I thought Haney had a hairline fracture in his jaw. Sorry for the confusion. Saturday night in Australia. Tim Sheeran. Nice. Or Sheeran. Is it Sheeran? Not Sheeran. Sheeran. It's like calling Aaron Aaron. I got Rolly a tough test. Devin and Tio to take the win. Yeah, the second one. Yeah, Sharon. Sharon. It's like calling Aaron Aaron. Is your name Tim Aaron? Aaron. This dude. This guy's problem. I had that double COVID stuff going around. I was down for about 2 weeks. No solid foods. Trouble sleeping, but I recovered. Stay safe out there, Kurt. Suge won. Yeah, double COVID. I don't know. It might have been, man, because it was weird. Because, like, I had, like this, like it was strange. All of a sudden, one day, you know, I was hitting the gym and I was going to the steam room and all this and that. And the strangest thing is, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I went to sit down, and when I was down, I noticed I didn't feel too good. And I felt pain, you know, pain in my, like, you know, the kind of pain when you're coming down with something, you know, that type of pain, like that pain where you're like, dude, is it just me, or I don't feel too hot, you know? And I felt this little, you know, pain in my legs and all that. It was crazy because I said to myself, like, well, cool, if I don't feel too good, I'm just gonna lay down and take it easy. Nah. I went home, laid down. I woke up and I was feeling worse, like, ugh. So, yeah, I went outside. I went to my car, got some stuff out. I took some aspirin, some little baby aspirin. I drank some water. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go back to sleep because I was tired. So I went back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep this time, I woke up with the chills and I was sweating. And then I just got cold. So it was weird. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Easy work. Oh, Easy work. Frazier Clark's on the undercard for Cameron Whittaker. His jaw healed quick. You got to watch it, though, because, being a professional, being anybody with any type of pragmatic sense would go for that jaw quick to see where it's at. Jaw checker, chin checker. I would chin check that jaw, man. I will see if it's something there. Something's got to be there. A vision without action is merely a dream. Yeah, that was the double COVID, Kurt. Make sure to get lots of fluids, room temperature water, no cold or chilled water. I'm originally from Auckland, New Zealand. Joseph Parker's my man. Who do you think he'll fight next? And what's your thoughts? Tim, I don't know, and I don't think he knows, and I think he'll know as soon as everything else comes into play. So I think it's hard to know who Joseph Parker's going to fight. I just know that it's not going to be anyone like Aget Caballero or anything, I don't think, because for one, Caballero's the WBC interim #1. So I don't think he would fight him anyway. And he is the WBA. So he's pretty much where Caballero is anyway. So if you're talking about Parker fighting Caballero, well, they're both the interim guys. They're both these champs. They both walk around with belts, the WBC on the Caballero end and the WBO on the Parker end. So you don't really know about that. Avatar, happy Easter, Curtin family. Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you and keep you. So I don't see those dudes fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like I seen Parker fighting Dubois because, Dubois was the actual champion, at IBF. He was the champ. He's still the champ. Dress the exhibition of Victor Ortiz. Ha ha ha. In bad fights. 2026 is far away. Not really. Not really at all, man, because pretty soon it's going to be June. Then after that, you're going to see August. Then after that, you're going to see October. And then November, then December, and then it'll be over. Bars. Who do you want to fight? Who you want to fight Usyk? I would rather Parker fight Usyk or Caballero or Bakali. Anybody besides Daniel Dubois. I'm tired of rematches. That's all. I don't have anything against Daniel Dubois. I just don't think he should be fighting Alexander Usyk. See, and I can prove it to you guys. You guys remember when AJ was going to fight for the IBF, and if AJ would have beat Dubois, AJ himself would have wanted to fight Usyk. And I told people, I don't want to see a third Usyk fight. If you guys can remember me saying that, I don't want to see Usyk and Joshua a third fucking time. Why? Because we've already saw him fight twice. I don't care to see rematches. I don't care who it is. So that just proves it's nothing against Danny Dubois. It's just the fact we've already saw it. And I don't see Danny Dubois change that much. People want to say it. The AJ boys, they want to say, oh, he's got so much better. Look what he did to AJ. AJ's just got worse. Okay? Right? It wasn't because Daniel got better. No. Daniel didn't show me anything. You look back at Daniel. What did Daniel do besides what he's always done? Nothing. He ain't done anything new or innovative or no, he hasn't. LOL, Kurt, someone said Dubois was IBF mandatory but had to fight AJ. That's funny. Dubois has a second shot at Undisputed, but I don't know whether he's improved or he's just had the competition that hasn't highlighted the flaws Usyk exposed. That part. The last part. Hi, Kurt. Parker can't get his title shot. Who do you think he should face next to fill time? I think that's going to be up to them. Because, I mean, you go from Dubois, well, You go from Deontay to Zhang to Bakali. You bet your ass they're not going to fight anyone up here. They're not going to do it. Unless it's for a championship title, which is, makes all the sense in the world. Hi, Curtis Parker. Okay, we already got it. You think Devin Haney wins in May? I don't know. I think he can outbox Ramirez. I think Ramirez was good 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know about now. I don't know about now. He's a good name on the resume. He is. It's a good fight on paper. But now, no, I don't think so. In fact, I think the last fight of me seeing Ramirez, he didn't look that good, but I got to take another look. It's a tough call for Haney. It's a tough call for Haney because we don't know which Haney shows up since the loss. Is his confidence and will dented? That's what we need to see. I agree. Parker versus Haney is a good fight and does numbers down here with the New Zealand and Austria rivalry. Then on to Usyk after he deals with Dubois again. Well, I have no objection of Usyk fighting Joseph Parker after Danny Dubois. None. Because it's a fresh fight. Joseph Parker's earned it. Danny Dubois bottled it to get another opportunity against Usyk, which any guy would have done. So I'm not faulting Daniel, you know. But since he's lost, there you go. And now it's Joseph Parker's turn to show Usyk what he's really made of in the last fight of his career, which I think will be absolutely epic, guys. I think will be absolutely epic. Cambosos got outclassed. Yeah, I remember Haney. I remember Cambosos. That was a pretty good fight, though. But yeah, Cambosos is nowhere near what I thought he was. I think he shot his wad. I think Cambosos became like Andy. He was the Andy. He's the Andy Ruiz of that weight class, right? Well, Loma's. I think people forget about Loma too easily, and everyone's jumping on the Usyk train. But remember, those guys are all trained the same way by the same type and group of people. That made them all great. I just think people thought Loma, then Usyk, then Volsnik, then everyone else under that. But it just shows you how some people can, take off and show you that, hey, they are the actual great ones, because everybody again thought it was Loma now, and now we're witnessing it's Usyk. Up to now it's Alexander Usyk, which is that primary guy, that primary fighter from the Ukraine, that guy that stuck out, the all-time great, you know what I mean, that guy, the cat, beat the Matrix. And they're not even in competition. It is what it is. Usyk should retire before he gets beat. I don't care if he gets beat or not. People, that's that Floyd bullshit everyone thought and holds on to. Just like, no. Why? There's fighters that, yes, they've never been beaten professionally. But a lot of those fighters that never been beaten professionally always had to deal with leaving the sport too early, or fears and doubts of the decision that they made of leaving the sport too early. People, let me tell you something about that undisputed bullshit. It's always someone that gets out of the game too early. Rocky Marciano, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe. Those guys are 4 examples of when they left the sport too early, including Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano got out of the sport because he seen killers on the horizon. But he did exhibitions. He did whatever he could for money. And unfortunately, he died trying to get more money for his family and for his career. But he retired too early. You know what I mean? He just retired too early. Floyd did too. Why do you think Floyd's doing all those exhibitions? Because he's that broke? No, he's doing those exhibitions because he shouldn't have left the game anyway. He's still lacing up the gloves. He wants people to promote him. He wants people to show him. He wants people to fill the seats. Andre Ward, same thing. Andre Ward, you see Andre still training like he should have never left the sport. Joe Calzaghe, he was undefeated, and he got on drugs and all types of stuff because it was bothering him because he left the sport too early. A lot of times you can't let yourself. You have to know every aspect of fighting. We're all born to win, just like a child knowing only life. Right? So at the end of the day, when you lose, it's something to understand. You learn about a loss. Tyson just had to learn about a loss. Deontay had to learn about a loss. Parker had to learn about a loss. AJ had to learn about a loss. Canelo had to learn about losses. It happens. Kurt, salute. Are you all right? How is your health? Man, I'm feeling better. I'm not 100. I'm like 72, 73. Jake versus Chavez Jr. Jake will knock out Chavez. Now, that would be funny. I give it actually to Jake because Chavez is not. Nah. Chavez would get another payday. Payday. I know that. I love how this dude thinks he knows what better for people's health than they are about their own health. Well, I'm just saying, dude. He's saying, well, why don't he get out of the sport before he gets beat? Well, that ain't caring for his health. It just you don't want to see a guy get lost. You don't want to see a guy get a loss on his record. That has nothing to do with that. When people retire, it's time to retire. No, it's not. That's the point I made. All those guys and the points that I made, they shouldn't have retired. That's why they're still either doing exhibitions or doing other bullshit because they should have been still in the ring doing the thing. Kurt, Gurgen, Hove Highnessian is a very good prospect from Armenia. Okay. If Chavez's dad fought with pure taxi driver. If Chavez's dad fought with pure taxi driver. Well, yeah, man. But a lot of those guys didn't want to lead the sport. Floyd, he wanted, I think that's what happened to a lot of those guys, fight purses over there. I think Floyd, with his exhibitions, fighting once a year or twice a year, making $10-20 million for a fight. And then yet you have fighters that you're not even allowing to fight. They haven't fought in a year or so. Yeah, people were going to eventually get tired of that shit. Watching Floyd. Oh, I'm the best ever. I'm TBE. Let me fight Jake Paul, Logan Paul. They can all bring it on. KSI, he wants some. But then it's like you have fighters on your roster of your promotional company that are fucking broke, bro. It's crazy. Kurt's wisdom should be everybody has a plan until they retire too soon. But what Kurt's saying is facts. And actually, I was replying to someone that said, they want him to get out before he gets beat. Because everybody likes that satisfaction for a guy, to be undefeated. And I kind of get that, but I don't even think it's Usyk's mindset. You can't have a mindset of losing or a fear of losing, fighting the best or fighting some of the toughest fighters. You're not going to have that. That Floyd impression is one of the best. You imagine Floyd. Oh, I ain't gonna fight Oscar De La Hoya again. I ain't fighting him again. I fought him one time and I beat him one time. We broke records. Me, I'm the winner. I'm the creme de la creme. I'm the cash cow. I replaced Oscar De La Hoya, fishnets wearing ass De La Hoya. I'm the golden boy. I supposed to been golden Olympic champion anyway. They robbed me and they robbed Word too. They robbed Roy too. So I deserve this. This is my time. It's hard enough it's not enough for him to just be rich. You have to break before you have to broke before he's happy. You don't know the true character of a fighter until you see how they come back from a loss. Well, that's true. But you'll never see that from Floyd. Oh, I never lost. I never lost. The funny thing is when you look for KOs or stay undefeated, that's usually when you get caught or take a loss. Yeah, that ain't Floyd though. Frank Sanchez versus Derek Chisora next. Be a good fight because Derek Chisora, I think, will test Frank in a situation I don't think he's accustomed to. I mean, that pressure from a clubber, from a brawler, from a banger. That would be pretty good. It would be good work for Frank. It's dangerous too because Frank, I know how he fights sometimes. He'll lean on the ropes too much. You do that with Derek Chisora, he's going to crack you because all it takes is one good one, right? Mayweather is the best I've seen. Yeah. They want me to fight Keith Thurman. I'm not fighting Keith Thurman. They want me to fight Erislandy Lara. He can't even speak English. What am I fight him for? What am I fight him for? Maybe it's better. I'll give Floyd his flowers, greatest defense of all time. But yeah, man, gave you guys a solid hour. I'm about to lay it down. Drink some fluid, some water, get back. I will be live at, I believe, 12 noon today. So I'll be back for another live stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, rocking with me. Be safe, be blessed. Until 12 o'clock, everyone's been counterpunched. Have a good night. Peace.